the market wallet, or the bag that everyone used in the 18th century, and this is what I want to show you today, how to make one. And the people back then carried everything inside, like food, little stuff, or really big stuff, and they're hanging this over a mounted, what you saw call it, a horse, something like this. And as exists very small one, you just put on your belt. Everything is possible. And the system is very easy. You have a hole inside, you twist it up, and in the middle is a hole, and you put everything inside this wallet. And I have a lot of down here, and you can just put it out. And I show you what I have today in my market wallet. One is the linen fabric. This is what I use today. Sometimes you can also use cotton, but linen is more heavy, strong to use it, and was more common back then. This is why I use this, and I have a really good fabric. And on the other side I have all the other stuff that I need to make a market wallet. And here, this is a cotton yarn thread. I use this one. The good thing, everything is natural and there's no plastic. And this is why I can wash it or cook it later too, if I need it or I want to dye it, something like this. Then a scissor. These are little needles without a hole on the top. I don't know the English name. This is a name maybe I should learn. And then I have a bunch of needles, and this is for my wife. I need to make my own needle pouch in the future too, but today I make the market wallet. Let's go. In the first step, it is important to decide how big should be the market wallet later. And there was a lot of different sizes back then. Very small one, you put your stuff inside, turn it around and do it in your haversack or in your pouch, whatever you want to do it. Or you have make a really big one and you fill it up and then you twist it, nothing go loose, and then you hang it over your pony or horse. And this are market wallet. They was too big for a single person to carry them. And I have made this one too. This is a very small one for me. If you see this and if it's filled up, it is a little bit small for little stuff, few apples, a little bit food. But it is made of linen too, a very strong linen. And today I want to make a bigger one for myself to carry everything for a trip except the blanket. And I have decided to make a big one. And this is around 30 inches to around 55 inches long. And this is what I use. I'm a very big person. And if you see, if I cover it up like this and hang it over me, it is big. And you can make it smaller. I regress not to go under 20 inches for this and not under 40 inches in length if you want to have a market wallet to wear normally. And from the biggest amount is like 30 inches to around 64 inches. And this is how big you can make it. But there is not a golden rule. You can decide every size you want to do it. And I have started to cut it off. This is a good strong linen material. Sometimes I use also cotton with beautiful colors, but for a big sack for the normal wearing I prefer linen. And this is what we use today. Now are the first steps, and it is important to be very clear and on point by this work. And I show you later why. And first we need our needles, and then we prepare our fabric. First step is to put this one. This is a long side. the both long sides. I make the same step. And decided how much. I think this is good. And fold it up one time. And we do this because the fabric can lose all these little strings here if we don't save them. And this is why we do this step, that we have a long time fun with this market wallet. And now I do this over the complete side and the other side too. This was the first step, and now the second step is more important, to be very straight on line, that you don't mess it up. And this is do one fold more. And important is this is on the end every time, like this. And then I explain you why. And the reason why is very easy. We want to save this, don't go up. And if I go too far inside, I have this here. And if I sew here, I make my finger on top. This is now the sewing line. And then it goes up. And then the fabric is not sewn in. And that can go open later. And this is why it is so important to be really clear that you make this working step really with patience and make it right. More important than the sewing later, because if you make here a mistake, you can refix it later, but it is a lot of work extra. And this is why I don't want to make this mistake again. Now the first step is finished, and we have finished both sides. And now we go to the next step, and this is turning around the whole fabric like this. And then we want to halve it like this. And now I put the one side on the other side on top. This fits perfect. And when I'm on the corner here and lay both together, then I take a needle and connect both together and do this with the whole fabric. But there is one special thing. We need an opening in the middle, and this is where we go later, but we need to mark it now. And this is how I do this. First, I halve the whole wallet market and put one needle exactly in the middle. And then I now wear at the middle. And then I go with my hands, one like this, and put a needle next to this both points. And now I have a big opening where I can go in. And I recommend to make this open in the minimum of the same length how wide this fabric, this market wallet is later, because if you are too small, you can't put stuff inside of the full length of the market wallet. Perfect is 1 inch bigger than the side, and this is the opening. And this is the part where I mark where I don't put the both fabrics together. And I do the whole process, and then we see us in the next step. Now a short tip from me, you don't need to do this, but it makes the sewing later easier. And this is, we have the middle and all needle points on this side looking to this outside, and on this side, in the moment they look in the same direction. And what I now do, I put them out, make both close together, and let them look also out to this side. The needle points on this side look on this direction, and the needle points on this side looks to this direction. And this helps the sewing later, you will see it, to make it easier. And this is what I do the whole line here. Now I have my cotton yarn, and I need enough, I think, a little bit more than the double of the half side to sewing one side. I prefer to make it longer than I need on the end, because it's easier to sew like this. And then I take my yarn and push them through the needle to start sewing. Now is coming the sewing part, and this is now 4 times exactly the same, and I will explain it step by step. But first we want to sew from this point outside here to the point where is the opening started, and then I make this point extra strong. I will show you how I do this, because this exactly point here is the most used point who gets power on, and if we have not enough patience to make this point strong, this can open. And this is also the reason why I sewing the inner sides, this both, later. I make it on the end, because if this is only one string, it is maybe faster, but you can't make this so strong on this side. And after I do the first side, I do the second side, also from the outside to the middle. And if both sides are finished, then I do the middle part. And how I sew is very easy. I will show it now and explain it step by step. Now I show you how I started, and I go here on the beginning with a needle and push the first needle stitch through, and then I come back next to this stitch on the other side, and this is my first beginning. Now I pull this until, say with this point, and now I make a double knot for the start. And how I do this, I know there are different types and knots. What I do, I go down and twist it 2 times around, and I have my first knot. Now I make the exact same thing with a needle. I go around 2 times like this. 1, 2, and then I make the knot finish. Cut this here up. Now we have our first knot, and our yarn is safe. And now there's an easy way to sew all the way through. What I do, I try to stay in the middle, and I go first down, and then I go up again. I don't know any name of stitches. I learn step by step new stitches for every cloth that I sewing. Maybe one day I can make a video about different stitches. I have learned already some stitches, and it's just training. With the time you will be faster. The other way is to go down, but only a little bit. Then push your fabric like this, and then go up again, and one moment, go through this. Then we can go up there again, Now we can turn it again. And now we make 4 stitches and 1. And this is a point you can have a thumber to push this through, especially if it is very hard to push through. And then I have make more stitches at one time. I try to be in the middle. If there's one time that you're not in the middle, you can just lose the yarn and pull this back like this, and then you can go it and make it again. And the other point why I have made the needle like this way is now I can just push them out, and this is easier than push them in this way where I don't sew. And yes, I will sew this now complete for both sides, and with the end nut I will show you how I make this strong. Now we are on the point where we need to be and make our strong line. And how I do this, I go up and down on this point 2 times. It's really like the same stitch, but I go up and down. And it needs 1-2 minutes. This was down, then we go up again. And this made this point very strong. On the point on top, I go 1 time around, because this is also a point that can open very fast, like this. And if I now go on the side and open this here, this is strong. This is exactly what I want to do, that it later don't open. Now we go in the middle again. And now I show the finishing knot. And this is a little bit different. What I do here, I take only a little bit up, like this. No, less. Like this. And then I go 2 times in the loop. And pull this first knot. And I make next to them a second same one. Like this. We lose the needle, it's not a problem. We go 2 times through this loop, like this. Push them, and now it is finished. Cut this off. And now I have this part finished, and then I go to the second side, and after the second side I make just this line. Now I am on the point for the middle lash, and we want to sew this now. And my way to sew it, we have here our strong part. See this on this side here. And I go with a new yarn and needle behind them. It's important I do this behind, because at this point there will be no pressure. And now I make my famous double knot I showed you before. Our knot is finished. I cut it off here a little bit. And now I go sewing, and we go to the strong point. This is where I want to go out. Immediately on this point. This is a very close stitches. And what I do now, I try to make the stitches here very close, because there is more pressure. And now we go here out, And now the big difference is we have only one layer, this layer here, not the other side. And I go through. The first 2 or 3 switches are very close. And with this, now I have the first stitches. And now I go the whole line. What I can do here more than the other one is I go and double it very fast because there are less layers of fabric. So I do this like this. I have a lot of stitches, pull them, and then I go the whole way up to the other side. And the end nut, I go on this side and make the same end nut like before, and I do it behind this part where it's a strong two. And this is what I do now, and then I have the main part finished, and then we need to go to the sides. Now we are on the turning point to do this, and there's 2 ways to do this. And I prefer the way that I show today, but there is another way too. I do this sometimes, but I don't like it so much. And this is really like, for a smaller one, I like it. If you put this inside and you have the end here, it's like this on the side, and just turn it around like this. But I don't want to have this time. This is for my normal carrying on the shoulder. And if I twist it, then I want to have this one laying like this, also to turn this line. And this is if I turn the fabric. It's a long fabric. I need to work here a little bit. And make this in the middle. Like this. Like this. So. And now I make the same like before. I do this one time. And then I do this a second time. Because it is so short, I do this in one step. 1. 2. And here the same. It is very important that this point is on the end of the fabric again. I do this like this. And now I fix this. And now I have it like this. And now the sewing is very easy. I will just do it and don't show this on video because this is the same what I done before. I starting on this side, sewing complete to the other side, and then finish this up. And this is the only point. This point here is very thick and is a little bit harder. This is where I recommend to get a thumb. It's a very hard word for a German, to push this needle through. And this is what I'm just doing now. And then we are very close to have our finish wallet, market wallet. If the sides are finished, the whole market wallet is finished. And now it's very easy, just turning the whole market wallet from inside out, like this. The market wallet is finished, and now it's very easy. Fill up with the stuff you want to carry, twist it, and over the shoulders. And now it is very easy to carry this stuff with me for the next trip. But what is this? A thimble? A leather thimble? And I have used this in many situations by the sewing and how you can make your own leather thumbnail. This is what I show you in this video up here. We see us soon.